It was 100 degrees today, and it's days like this where I wish our house had a pool. And the problem is I don't have anywhere to attach a hose. So today I decided I'm gonna DIY a solution for our baby swimming pool, so my daughter and I can beat the heat at home and don't have to take the time and drive to the pool. So the plan's to install a new hose attachment, run a new water line to it, then finally attach a hose and fill up the baby pool. First, we gotta go to the depot and get some stuff. Alright, so I'm going to install this frost-proof hose spigot from Sharkbite. You're going to want to measure how long you'll need it to be, because it comes in different lengths. So I measured 8 inches, but I'm going to go with a 10-inch length just to be on the safe side. To get this spigot through my brick wall, I used a 1-foot-long, 1-inch diameter masonry bit from Harbor Freight. Now the spigot can also be secured to the bricks, and so to do that I use a 3/16 diameter bit from this pack. All of these bits are what's called an SDS Plus shank. So that means that it's not really built to fit into your standard drill. And plus I wanted something that had a little bit more juice behind it because I was going through what's 8 to 10 inches of brick. So I bought myself a new tool, the Bauer 1642E from Harbor Freight. Now before I went drilling, I wanted to make sure we were safe, so I double checked there were no electrical lines, no water lines, no gas lines behind where I was going to drill. So I drilled from the outside into my basement at a slight upward angle, and I did that to ensure that no water was going to remain in the line during winter and freeze and ruin all the work I just did. Then I drilled the pilot holes for these Tapcon screws to secure the spigot. Now I could have used a flathead screwdriver to secure these screws into the brick wall. However, from my past experience, using a flathead screwdriver with brick and screws just is not a fun time, so I used a 5/16 socket wrench instead. And lastly, to ensure my install was leak-proof, I used way too much outdoor caulking and made a huge mess. But while that was drying, it was time to head into the basement to run the new water line. So for the water line, I'm going to use PEX tubing, and so I measured how much I would need and also matched the diameter of my other lines. So I measured about 70 feet and ended up buying a 100-foot roll. Because it's running cold water, I opted for the blue from the depot. For a clean cut, I use a tube cutting tool. And so to run a new water line from what I have, this Manabloc, I had to buy a proprietary adapter from supplyhouse.com. Yes, it's annoying, I hate proprietary parts. And connected the PEX tubing to the adapter, using a 1/2-inch crimp ring with the appropriate crimp tool from the depot. I attached the PEX tube with the adapter onto my Manabloc and then started to run it over to my hose spigot. I plan on finishing this basement later, so I wanted it to be kinda clean how I was gonna secure it to the wall. So I use these 1/2-inch staples every 2 to 3 feet using a hammer. And make sure not to put any kinks in that PEX tubing, otherwise you may end up with a leak like I did. So to remedy that, I had to slice out the area that was leaking using my tube cutter and then attach another Sharkbite fitting onto it. I had this shutoff valve one that I had bought and lying around, so I opted to use that. Now the Sharkbite spigot has a push-to-connect fitting, and you want to make sure that the PEX tubing is deep enough that it has a secure fit. So what you can do is use the Sharkbite tool and use a permanent marker and mark the depth of how far you should push. And now that the hose spigot was installed, I had a new water line running to it. It was now time to test the water. Sorry, that was a really obvious dad joke. So I attached our hose to fill the pool, and voila! We can now fill up our baby swimming pool. You can see how much it cost me in the description below, but honestly, seeing my daughter's smile is priceless. Anyways, if you're looking for ways to improve your baby's sitting balance so they can enjoy the pool even more, then check out my video right up here. Otherwise, make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned to Tummy Time Academy's next video.